right here in Corvallis. Our mission in life is to make Shakespeare fast-paced, exciting, accessible, and most of all, fun. We are an original practices Shakespeare troupe, which means that there was no director of any of the things you shall see tonight. Everything upon the stage this evening was conceived, created, adapted, costumed, blocked, everything by the actors themselves. As the director is a fairly new concept that has only been around since the mid-1800s. A fact. Another thing you will note tonight is the practice of doubling. There are only 9 people in this troupe, and Shakespeare's history plays are a little famous for their large, expansive casts. One person in tonight's performance plays 4 roles, which will be just as much fun for them as it will be for you. The other thing that I wish to point out is that you will notice the house lights are on. That is because in Shakespeare's day, there was no such thing as electric lights showing off the actors, keeping the audience in darkness. This means that you can see us, but we can see you, and you can also see each other. So that means you are all part of the show. Congratulations. Tonight's performance will run approximately 2 hours and 15 minutes, depending on how much y'all laugh. And our 15-minute intermission will be signaled by this sound. When you hear that sound, you may feel free to go into the lobby, purchase a fine bevy of beverages and snacks, and pick up some souvenir stickers if you feel so inclined from the lovely young human sitting in the corner in the red chair who has stickers in front of them. How exciting. All right, now please sit back, enjoy Henry IV, The Follies of Falstaff, as presented by Merely Players.
So shaken as we are, so wan with care, find we a time for frighted peace to pant. No more the thirsty entrance of this soil shall daub her lips with her own children's blood. Opposite eyes of civil butchery shall now in mutual well-beseeming ranks all march one way, and be no more opposed against acquaintance, kindred, and allies. An edge of war, like an ill-sheathed knife, no more shall cut his master. Therefore, friends, as far as to the sepulchre of Christ, for with the power of English shall we levy. Now, say, my gentle cousin Westmoreland, what yesternight our council did decree in forwarding our march to the Crusades.
My liege, this haste was hot in question, but yesternight when all athwart there came a post from Wales, loaded with heavy news, whose worst was that the noble Mortimer, leading the men of Herefordshire to fight against the irregular and wild Glendower, was by the rude hands of that Welshman taken, 1,000 of his people butchered.
Seems the tidings of this broil break off our business for the Holy Land.
Then more uneven and unwelcome news came from the north, and thus it did report. On Holyrood Day, the gallant Hotspur, their young Harry Percy, and brave Archibald, that ever valiant and approved Scot, at Holmdon met, where they did spend a sad and bloody hour.
Here's a dear, a true industrious friend, Sir Walter Blunt, new lighted from his horse. And he hath brought us smooth and welcome news.
The Earl of Douglas is discomfited. 10,000 bold Scots and 22 knights, balked in their own blood, did mine own eyes see on Holmdon's plains. Of prisoners, Hotspur took Mordache, the Earl of Fife. And is not this a gallant prize, my liege, is it not?
In faith, it is a conquest for a prince to boast of.
Aye, there thou makest me sad, and makest me sin in envy that my lord Northumberland should be the father to so blessed a child who is the theme of honor's tongue, whilst I, by looking on the praise of her, see riot and dishonor stain the brow of my young Harry. Oh, that it could be proved that some night-tripping fairy had exchanged in cradle clothes our children where they lay, called mine Percy, his Plantagenet. Then would I have his Harry, and he mine. But let him from my thoughts. What say you, cuz, to this young Percy's pride, The prisoners which she in this adventure hath surprised, to her own use she keeps, and sends me word I shall have none but Morday, Earl of Fife.
This is her aunt's good counsel. This is Worcester, malevolent to you in all aspects.
I will send for her to answer this. For this cause we must a while neglect our holy purpose to Jerusalem. Cousin, on Wednesday next, our council we will hold at Windsor. So inform the lords. For more is to be said and to be done, and out of anger can be uttered.
We will, my liege.
A little help from my friends. Raise a cup of sack high. A little help from my friends. Do you need anybody? I need some varlet to love, eh? Could it be anybody? I need some harlot to love. Now how? What time of day is it, lad?
Thou art so fat-witted with drinking of old sack and unbuttoning thee after supper and sleeping upon benches afternoon, that thou hast forgotten to demand that truly which thou wouldst truly know. What a devil hast thou to do with the time of the day? Unless hours were cups of sack, and minutes capons, and clocks the tongues of bawds, and the blessed sun himself, a fair hot wench in flame-colored taffeta. I see no reason why thou should be so superfluous to demand the time of the day.
Indeed, you come near me now, lad, for we that take purses go by the moon and the 7 stars. And I prithee, sweet wag, when thou art king, as God save thy grace. Well, majesty, I should say, for grace thou wilt have none.
What, none?
No, when thou art king, let not us that are squires of the night's body be called thieves of the day's beauty. Let us be minions of the moon, and let men say we be men of good government, being governed, as the sea is, by our noble and chaste mistress, the moon.
Thou sayest well, and it holds well too, for the fortune of us that are the moon's men doth ebb and flow like the sea, being governed as the sea is by the moon.
Aye, the Lord, thou sayest true, lad. And is not my mistress Quickly of the tavern a most sweet wench?
What a pox have I to do with my mistress Quickly of the tavern?
Thou hast called her to a reckoning many a time and oft.
Did I ever call for thee to pay thy part?
Nay, I'll give thee thy due. Thou hast paid all there.
Yea, and elsewhere, so far as my coin would stretch, and where it would not, I've used my credit.
Aye, and so used it, that were it not here apparent that thou art heir apparent. But I prithee, sweet wag, shall there be gallows standing in England when thou art king? Do not thou, when thou art king, hang a thief.
No, thou shalt.
Shall I? Oh, rare! By the Lord, I'll be a brave judge.
Thou judgest false already. I meant thou shalt have the hanging of the thieves, and so prove a rare hangman.
Thou art the most comparative, rascaliest, sweet young prince. Thou art indeed able to corrupt a saint. Thou hast done much harm upon me, Hal. God forgive thee for it. Before I knew thee, Hal, I knew nothing. And now am I, if a man should speak truth, little better than one of the wicked. Now I must give over this life. And I will give it over. And I do not, I am a villain. Ugh. I'll be damned for never a king's son in Christendom.
Where shall we take a purse tomorrow, Jack?
Oh! Soon, spread thou wilt, lad. I'll make one.
I see a good amendment of life in thee, from praying to purse taking.
Hal, 'tis my vocation, Hal. It is no sin for a man to labor in his vocation. Boys, this is the most omnipotent villain that ever cried stand to a true man.
Good morrow, Ned.
Good morrow, sweet Hal. What says Monsieur Remorse? What says Sir John Sackett Sugar?
Sir John stands to his word. The devil shall have his bargain, for he was never yet a breaker of proverbs. He will give the devil his due.
Oh, and art thou damned for keeping thy way with the devil?
Else he'd been damned for cousining the devil.
But my lads, tomorrow morning by 4 o'clock early at Gad's Hill, there are pilgrims going to Canterbury with rich offerings, and traders riding to London with fat purses. I have visits for you all. You have horses for yourselves. We may do it as secure as sleep. If you will go, I will stuff your passes full of crabs. Hey. If you will not, carry it home and be hanged.
Well, how? Wilt thou make one?
Who? I, Rob? I, a thief? Not I, by my faith.
Oh, there's neither honesty, manhood, nor good fellowship in thee, nor thou camest not of the blood royal, if thou dost not stand for 10 shillings.
Well, once in my days, I'll be a
Hey,
mad
that's well said.
Come what will, I'll carry it home.
Oh, by the Lord, I'll be a traitor then when thou art king.
I care not.
Sir John, I prithee leave the prince and me alone. I will lay him down such reasons for this adventure that he shall go.
Well, God give thee the spirit of persuasion, and him the ears of profiting, that what he speaks may move and what he hears may be believed, that the true prince may for recreation's sake prove a false thief. Farewell, you shall find me in Eastcheap.
Now, my good sweet honey lord, lie with us tomorrow. I have a jest to execute that I cannot manage alone. Falstaff and Bardolph shall rob those men we have already waylaid. Yourself and I will not be there. And when they have the booty, if you and I do not rob them, cut this head off from my shoulders.
How shall we part with them in setting forth?
Why, we will set forth before or after them and appoint them a place of meeting, wherein it is at our pleasure to fail. And then will they adventure upon the exploit themselves, which they shall no sooner have achieved, but will set upon them.
Yea, but 'tis like they shall know us by our horses, by our habits, and by every other appointment to be ourselves.
On horses they shall not see, we'll tie them in the woods. Our vizards we will change after we leave them. And Sirrah, I have cases of buckram for the nonce to inmask our noted outward garments.
Yea, but I doubt they'll be too hard for us, huh?
Well, for one of them, I know him to be as true-bred coward as ever turned back. For the other, if he fight longer than he sees reason, I'll forswear arms. The virtue of this jest will be the incomprehensible lies that this same fat rogue will tell us when we meet at supper. What blows, what extremities he endured! And in the reproof of this lives the jest.
Well, I'll go with thee. Yes. Provide us all things necessary. Meet me tomorrow night in Eastcheap. There I'll sup. Farewell.
Farewell, my lord!
I know you all and will a while uphold the unyoked humor of your idleness. Yet herein will I imitate the sun, who doth permit the base contagious clouds to smother up his beauty from the world, that, when he please again to be himself, being wanted, he may be more wondered at by breaking through the foul ugliness of vapors that did seem to strangle him. So in this loose behavior I throw off and pay the debt I never promised. By how much better than my word am I? By so much shall I falsify men's hopes. I'll so offend to make offense a skill, redeeming time when men think least, I will.
My blood hath been too cold and temperate, unapt to stir these indignities, and you have found me, for accordingly you tread on my patience.
Our house, my sovereign liege, little deserves the scourge of greatness to be used on it, and that same greatness too which our own hands have hoped to make so portly.
My lord!
Worcester, your presence is too bold and peremptory. You have good leave to leave us. When we need your use in council, we shall send for you. You were about to speak.
Yea, my lord. Those prisoners in your highness's name demanded which Harry Percy here at Holmdon took, whereas she says, and not with such strength denied as is delivered to your majesty. Either envy therefore, or miss prisoners guilty of this fault, and not my child.
My liege, I did deny no prisoners, but I remember when the fight was done, when I was dry with rage and extreme toil, breathless and faint, leaning on my sword, came there a certain lord, neat and trimly dressed. He was perfumed like a milliner. And as the soldiers bore dead bodies by, he called them untaught names, unmannerly, to bear a slovenly, unhandsome corpse betwixt the wind and his nobility. And he questioned me, among on your majesty's behalf. I then, all smarting with my wounds being cold, to be so pestered with a popinjay, out of my grief and my impatience, answered neglectingly, I know not what, but I beseech you, let not his report come current as an accusation betwixt my love and your high majesty.
The circumstance considered, good my lord, whatever Lady Percy then had said may reasonably die and never rise to do her wrong, or any way impeach what then she said, so she unsay it now.
And yet she doth deny her prisoners, but with proviso and exception that we at our own charge should ransom straight her brother-in-law, the foolish Mortimer, who upon my soul did willfully betray the lives of those he did lead to fight against that great magician, damned Glendower, whose daughter, as we hear, that Mortimer hath lately married. Shall our coffers be emptied to redeem a traitor, Holmes? No. On the barren mountains let him starve, for I shall never hold that man my friend, whose tongue shall ask for 1 penny cost to ransom home revolted Mortimer.
Revolted Mortimer! He never did fall off, my sovereign liege, but by the chance of war, to prove that true needs no more than 1 tongue in all those wounds, those mouthed wounds, which valiantly he took. In single opposition, hand to hand, he did contend the best part of an hour, in changing hardiment with great Glendower. Then let him not be slandered with revolt.
Thou dost belie him, Percy.
I do!
Thou dost belie him. He never did encounter with Glendower. I tell thee, he durst as well have met the devil alone as Owen Glendower for an enemy. Art thou not ashamed? But, Sirrah, henceforth, let me not hear you speak of Mortimer. Send us your prisoners by the speediest means, or you shall hear from me in such a kind as will displease you. My Lord Northumberland, we license your departure with your child. Send us your prisoners, or you will hear it.
And the devil come and roar for them, I will not send them. I will after straight and tell him so, for I will ease my heart, albeit I make a hazard of my head. What?
Drunk with collar, stay and pause a while. Here comes our anchor.
Speak of Mortimer, zoot, I will speak of him, and let my soul want mercy if I do not join with him. Yea, on his part, I'll empty all these veins and shed my dear blood drop by drop in the dust, but I will lift the downtrodden Mortimer as high in the air as this unthankful king.
Sister, the king hath made your niece stark mad.
Who struck this heat up after I was gone?
He will, forsooth, have all my prisoners, and when I urged the ransom once again of my wife's brother, then his cheek turned pale, trembling even at the name of Mortimer.
I cannot blame him. Was not Mortimer proclaimed by Richard, second of his name, to be the lawful heir? And yet the king who rules us now did tear up this intention, usurp the crown before the parliament, throw down this second Richard, poor dead king, surpassing Mortimer to claim the throne.
He was proclaimed. I heard the proclamation. The times it was that most unhappy king was soon deposed and shortly murdered.
And for whose death we in the world's wide mouth have scandalized and foully spoken of.
Shall it for a shame be spoken in these days, or fill up chronicles in time to come, that those of your nobility and power did pull down Richard, that sweet, lovely rose, and plant this thorn, this canker Bolingbroke? No, yet time serves wherein you may redeem your banished honors and restore yourselves unto the good thoughts of the world again. Revenge the jeering and disdained contempt of this proud king who studies day and night to answer all the debt he owes to you, even with the bloody payment of your debts. Therefore, I say...
Peace, cousin. Say no more. And now I will open a secret book into your quick conceiving discontents. I'll read you matter deep and dangerous, as full of peril and adventurous spirit.
Who sends danger from the east and to the west, so honor cross it from the north and south, and let them grapple. Oh, the blood more stirs!
Imagination of some great exploit drives her beyond the bounds of patience.
Oh, by heaven, methinks it were an easy leap to pluck bright honor from the pale-faced moon.
She apprehends a world of figures here, but not the form of what she should attend. Good cousin, give me audience for a while.
I cry you mercy.
Those same noble Scots that are your prisoners.
I'll keep them all, by God. He shall not have a Scot of them. No, if a Scot should save his soul, he shall not. I'll keep them by this hand.
You start away and lend no ear unto my purposes. Those prisoners you shall keep.
Nay, I will. That's flat. He said he would not ransom Mortimer. Forbade my tongue to speak of Mortimer. But I will find him when he lies asleep, and in his ear I'll hollow, Mortimer! Nay, I'll have a starling, shall be taught to speak nothing but stop Mortimer, and give it him to keep his anger still in motion. And that same sword and buckler Prince of Wales, but that I thought his father loves him not, and would be glad he met with some mischance, I would have him poisoned with a pot of ale.
Farewell, kinswoman. I shall speak to you when you are better tempered to attend.
Why, what a wasp-stung and impatient fool art thou to break into this scolding mood, tying thy tongue to no ear but thine own?
Good auntie, tell thy tale. I have done.
Then once more to your Scottish prisoners. Deliver them up without their ransom straight, and make the Douglas's son your only mean for powers in Scotland, which, for diverse reasons, which I shall send you written, be advised will easily be granted. You, my lord, your child being thus employed in Scotland, shall secretly into the bosom creep of that same noble prelate well beloved, the Archbishop
Of York is not.
True, who bears hard his brother's death at Bristol, the Lord Scrope. I speak not this in estimation as what I think might be, but what I know is ruminated, plotted, and set down, and stays only but to behold the face of that occasion that will bring it on.
Why, it cannot choose but be a noble plot, and then the powers of Scotland and of York to join with Mortimer, huh?
And so they shall.
Ooh, in faith it is exceedingly well aimed.
And 'tis no little reason bid us speed to save our heads by raising other head. Cousin, farewell. No further go in this than I by letter shall direct your course. When time is ripe, which will be suddenly, I'll steal away to Glendower and Lord Mortimer, where you and Douglas and our powers at once, as I will fashion them, shall happily meet to bear our fortunes in our own strong arms, which now we hold at much uncertainty.
Farewell, good sister. We shall thrive, I trust.
Auntie, adieu. Oh, let the hours be short, till fields and blows and groans applaud our sport. Ha ha!
Hijinks! Hijinks and be hanged! Hijinks!
Peace, you fat kidneyed rascal, what a brawling dost thou keep?
Where's Poins, Hal?
They are walked up to the top of the hill. I'll go seek them.
I am accursed to rob in that thief's company. The rascal hath removed my horse and tied him I know not where. If I travel but 4 foot by the square further afoot, I shall break my wind. Poins! Hal! Plague upon you both. Bardolph! I'll starve ere I rob a foot further. 8 yards of uneven ground is 70 miles afoot with me, and the stony-hearted villains know it well enough. A plague upon it when thieves cannot be true one to another. Plague upon you all. Give me my horse, you rogue. Give me my horse and be hanged.
Peace, you fat guts. Lie down. Lay thine ear to the ground, and list if thou canst hear the tread of travelers.
And hast thou any levers to lift me up again, being down? I pray thee, good Prince Hal, help me to my horse, good King's son.
Out, you rogue! Shall I be your ostler?
Hang thyself in thine own heir-apparent garters! If I have not ballads sung on you all and sung the filthy tunes, let a cup of sack be my poison.
Stand!
And so I do, against my will.
What news? Oh, case you. On with your visit. There's money of the king's coming down the hill.
Sirs, you two shall front them in the narrow lane. Ned Poins and I will walk lower. If they escape from your encounter, they light on us.
How many be there of them?
Some 8 or 10.
Soons will they not rob us?
What, a coward, Sir John Falstaff?
Indeed, I am not John of Gaunt, your grandfather, but yet no coward have.
Well, we leave that to the proof.
Sirrah Jack, thy horse stands behind the hedge. When thou needst him, there thou shalt find him. Farewell, and stand fast.
Ned, where are disguises?
Here, hard by, stand close.
Every man to his business.
Come, neighbor. The boy will lead the horses down the hill. We'll walk a quicker one on ease our legs.
Stand! Jesus bless us! All right, down with them caterpillars' throats. Aye, hearts and caterpillars, bacon-fed knaves, they hate us youth. Down with them, please stand.
Oh, we are gone! Both we and us forever!
Are you and nay, you fat chaps? I would your store over here. On, bacon's on!
The thieves have bound the true men. Now if thou and I rob the thieves and go merrily to London, it would be argument for a week, laughter for a month, and a good jest forever.
Oops, stand close. I hear them.
Come, let us share, and then to horse before day. And the prince and Poins be not two arrant cowards, there's no equity stirring. I mean, there's no more valor in that Poins than in a wild duck.
Your money! Got with much ease. Now merrily to horse. The thieves are both scattered and possessed with fear so strongly they dare not meet each other. Away, good Ned. Falstaff sweats to death and lards the lean earth as he walks along. Were it not for laughing, I should pity him.
Oh, how the fat rogue run!
Sirrah, Falstaff and the rest of the thieves are at the door. Shall we be merry?
As merry as crickets, my lad.
Oh, welcome, Jack. Where hast thou been?
A plague of all cowards, I say, and a vengeance too, marry and amen. Get me a cup of sack, boy. Plague of all cowards. Give me a cup of sack, bro. Is there no virtue extant? There is nothing but roguery to be found in villainous man. Yet a coward is worse than a cup of sack with wine in it. Ah, villainous coward. Go thy ways, old Jack. Die when thou wilt. There's not 3 good men left unhanged in England, and one of them is fat and grows old. God, but one bad word.
How now, Woolsack? What mutter you?
A king's son, eh? If I do not beat thee out of thy kingdom with a dagger of wood and drive all thy subjects afore thee like a flock of wild geese, I'll never wear hair on my face more. You, Prince of Wales?
Why, you horse and round man. What's the matter?
Are not you a coward? Answer me to that. Oh, and Poins there?
Oh, zoons. And you call me coward, huh? By the Lord, I'll stab thee.
I call thee coward. I'll see thee damned ere I call thee coward. Yet I would give £1,000 I could run as fast as thou canst. Bring me a cup of sack.
Oh, villain, thy lips are scarce white since thou drunkst last. What's the matter?
There be 2 of us here, obtained £1,000 this day morning.
Where is it, Jack? Where is it?
Taken from us it is. 100 upon the poor pair of us.
But 100, man.
I am the rogue if I were not to half swords with a dozen of them 2 hours together. I am escaped by miracle. I am 8 times thrust of the doublet, 4 through the host, my buckler cut through and through, my sword hacked like a handsaw. plague of all cowards, let him speak. If he speaks more or less in truth, we are villains and the sons of darkness.
Speak, sir, how was it?
We were set upon.
16 at least, my lord, and bound them.
No, they were not bound.
You rode, they were bound, every man of them. Some 6 or 7 freshmen set upon us and unbound the rest, and then come in the other.
What, fought you with them all?
I know not what you call all, but if I fought not with 50 of them, then I am a bunch of radish. If there were not 2 or 3 and 50 upon poor old Jack, then am I no 2-legged creature.
Pray God you've not murdered some of them.
Nay, that's past praying for. I have peppered 2 of them. 2 I am sure I have paid. 2 robes and buckram suits. I tell thee what, my lord, if I tell thee a lie, spit in my face, call me horse. 4 robes and buckram, let drive it.
What, 4? Thou saidst but 2 even now.
4, how? I told thee, 4.
He said 4.
Yeah, these 4 came all affront, and mainly thrusted me, and made me no more ado, but took all 7 of their points of my target.
7? Why, thou said but 4 even now.
Aye, 4 and buckram suits.
7 by these hills, or I'm a villain else.
Prithee, let him alone, we shall have more anon.
Dost thou hear me, lad?
Aye, and mark thee too, Jack.
Do so, for it is worth listening to. These 9 in buckram that I told thee of.
2 more already.
Began to give me ground, but it followed me close, came in hand and foot, and with a thought, 7 of the 11 I paid.
Oh, monstrous! 11 buckram men grown out of 2.
As the devil would have it, 3 misbegotten knaves in Kendall green came at my back, and let drive at me, for it was so dark how thou couldst not see thy hand.
These lies are like the father that begets them, gross as a mountain, open, palpable. Why, thou clay-brained guts, thou naughty-pated fool, thou whoreson obscene, greasy tallow cat.
Art thou mad? Is not the truth the truth?
How couldst thou know these men in Kendall Green when it was so dark thou could not see thy hand? Come, tell us your reason upon this. What sayest thou?
Come, your reason, Jack, your reason.
What, upon compulsion? If reasons were as plentiful as blackberries, I would give no man a reason upon compulsion.
I'll be no longer guilty of this sin, this sanguine coward, this bed presser, this horseback breaker, this huge hill of flesh.
Blood, you starveling, you elfskin, you bull's pizzle, you stockfish. Oh, for breath to utter what is like thee.
Thou hast tired thyself in base comparisons. Hear me speak but this.
Mark, Jack.
We too saw you 2 set on 2 and bound them and were masters of their wealth. Then did we 2 set on you 2 and with a word outfaced you from your prize and have it, yea, and show it you here in the house. And Falstaff, you carried your guts away as nimbly with as quick dexterity and roared for mercy, and still run and roared as ever I heard, bull cap. What a knave art thou to hack thy sword as thou hast done, and then say it was in spite. What trick canst thou now utter out to hide thee from this open and apparent shame?
Come, let's hear, Jack. What trick hast thou now?
Shame!
By the Lord, I knew you as well as he that made you. Why, hearken, my masters, was it for me to kill the heir apparent? Shall I turn upon the true prince? Nay, thou knowest I am as valiant as Hercules, but beware instinct. The lion will not touch the true prince. Instinct is a great matter. I was now a coward on instinct. But by the Lord, lads, I am glad you have the money. Gentles, friends, lads, hearts of gold, all the titles of good companionship fall on you. Well, what? Shall we be merry? Shall we have a play extempore?
Content, and the argument shall be, thy running away! Thy running away! How now, my lady the hostess?
Oh, marry, my lord. There's a nobleman of court at door would speak with you. He says he comes from your father.
What manner of man is he?
An old man.
Shall I give him his answer?
Prithee do, Jack.
Faith, I'll send him packing.
Now, sir, please, tell me in earnest, how came Falstaff's sword to be so hacked?
Oh, why? He hacked it with his dagger and said he would swear truth out of England, but he'd make you believe it was done in fight, and persuaded me to do the like. Oh, and to tickle our noses with spear grass to make them bleed, and to beslubber our garments with it, and swear it was the blood of true men!
Ah! Here comes lean Jack! Here comes bare bone! How now, my creature of bombast?
A plague of sighing and grief. It blows a man up like a bladder. There's villainous news abroad. Here was a message from your father. You must to the court in the morning. Of that same mad lady of the north, Hotspur. And he of Wales that made Lucifer cuckold and swore the devil is true liegeman. What did devil call you him?
Owen Glendower.
Owen, the same. And his son-in-law Mortimer and old Northumberland, and that sprightly Scot of Scots, Douglas. Oh, Worcester is stolen away tonight. My father's beard is turned white with the news. But tell me, lad, art thou not horrible afeard? Thou being heir apparent, can the world pick thee out again three such enemies as that fiend Douglas, that spirit Hotspur, and that devil Glendower? Art thou not horrible afraid? Doth not thy blood thrill at it?
Not a whit, in faith. I lack some of thy instinct.
Well, thou wilt be horribly chid tomorrow when thou comes to thy father. If thou loves me, practice an answer.
Do thou stand for my father and examine me upon the particulars of my life. Shall I?
Contend! This chair shall be my state. This dagger my scepter, this cushion my crown.
Thy state is taken for a joined stool, thy golden scepter for a leaden dagger, and thy precious rich crown for a pitiful bald crown.
Bring me a cup of sack to make my eyes look red. It may look as I have wept, for I must speak in passion.
Well, here's my leg.
And here my speech. Stand aside, nobility.
Jesus, this is excellent sport and fair.
Weep not, sweet crane, for trickling tears are vain.
Oh, the father, how he holds his countenance.
For God's sake, lords, convey my trustful queen, for tears to stop the floodgates of her eye.
He doth it as like one of these harlotry players whoever I see.
Yeah, peace, good pine pot. Peace, good tickle brain. Harry, I do not only marvel at where thou spendst thy time, but also how thou art accompanied. That thou art, my son, I have partly thy mother's word, partly my own opinion, but chiefly a villainous trick of the eye, the foolish hanging of the lower lip that doth warrant me. If then thou be son to me, here lies the point. Why, being son to me, art thou so pointed at? A question not to be asked. Shall the son of England prove a thief and take purses? A question to be asked. There is a thing, Harry, that thou hast often heard of, and it is known to many in our land by the name of pitch. This pitch, as ancient writers do report, doth defile. So doth the company thou keepst. For, Harry, I do not only speak to thee in drink, but in tears, not in pleasure, but in passion, not in words only, but in woes also. And yet, there is a virtuous man I have often noted in my company, but I know not his name.
What manner of man, and it like, your majesty?
Oh, a goodly, portly man of faith, of a cheerful look, a pleasing eye, and a most noble carriage. And now I remember me. His name is
Falstaff!
If that man should be lewdly given, he much deceiveth me, for, Harry, I see virtue in his looks. Him keep with, the rest banish. Banish. And tell me now, thou naughty varlet, tell me where hast thou been this month?
Dost thou speak like a king? Do thou stand for me, and I'll play my father.
Depose me! Oh! If thou doth it, do it half so gravely, so majestically, both in word and matter, hang me up by the heels.
Well, here am I set.
And here I stand, judge, my master.
Now, Harry, whence come you?
My noble lord from East Cheek.
The complaints I hear of thee are grievous.
Blood, my lord, they are false. Blood, I'll tickle you for a young prince of faith.
Swearest thou? Ungracious boy! Henceforth ne'er look on me. Thou art violently carried away from grace. There is a devil haunts thee in the likeness of an old, fat man. Why dost thou converse with that huge bombard of sack, that stuffed cloak bag of guts, that father ruffian, that vanity in years? Wherein is he good but to taste sack and drink it? Wherein neat and cleanly but to carve a capon and eat it? Wherein cunning but in craft? Wherein crafty but in villainy? Wherein villainous but in all things? Wherein worthy but in nothing?
I would your grace would take me with you. Whom means your grace?
Why, that villainous, abominable misleader of youth, Falstaff. That old white-bearded Satan.
My lord, the man I know.
No, thou dost.
But to say I know more harm in him than in myself would be to say more than I know. That he is old, well, the more's the pity. His white hairs do witness it. If sack and sugar be a fault, God help the wicked. If to be old and merry be a sin, there's many an old host I know is damned. Nay, good my lord, banish Bardolph, banish points. Yeah. But for good Jack Falstaff, kind Jack Falstaff, true Jack Falstaff, valiant Jack Falstaff, and therefore more valiant, being as he is old Jack Falstaff, banish not him thy Harry's company. Banish not him thy Harry's company. Banish plump Jack, and banish all the world.
I do, I will.
My lord,
What's the matter?
The sheriff and all the watcher at the door have come to search the house. Shall I let them in?
Go now! Hide thee behind the arras! Now I'm asking for true face and good conscience.
Both of which I have had, but their date is out, and therefore I'll hide me.
Call in the sheriff. Now, Master Sheriff, what is your will with me?
First, pardon me, my lord. Hue and cry have followed certain men unto this house.
What men?
One of them is well known, my gracious lord. A gross fat man.
The man, I do assure you, is not here, for I myself at this time have employed him. And Sheriff, I will engage my word to thee that I will tomorrow by dinner time send him to answer thee or any man, anything he shall be charged withal. And so let me entreat you, leave the house.
I will, my lord. There are two gentlemen have in this robbery lost 300 marks.
It may be so, and if he hath robbed these men, he shall be held answerable. And so, farewell.
Good night, my noble lord.
I think it is good morrow, is it not?
Indeed, my lord, I think it be 2 o'clock.
Bardolph! Go call him forth.
Falstaff! There he is, my lord, behind the arrows, and fast asleep and snorting like a horse.
Hark how hard he fetches breath. Ooh, search his pockets. What hast thou found?
Nothing but papers, my lord.
Let's see what they be. Read them.
Item sack, 2 gallons, 5 shillings, 8 pence. Item bread, 1 halfpenny.
Oh, monstrous, but 1 halfpenny worth of bread to this intolerable deal of sack. What there is else, keep close. We'll read it at more advantage. There let him sleep till day. I'll to the court in the morning. Be with me betimes in the morning, so good morrow, Harlow.
Good morrow, my lord. They
dresses are fair, the party's sure, and our induction full of prosperous hope.
Oh, Lord Mortimer and Cousin Glendower, will you sit down? And Auntie Wooster.
Sit, good cousin Hotspur, for by that name, as oft as thy dread king doth speak of you, his cheek looks pale, and with a rising sigh he wishes you in heaven.
And you in hell, as oft as he hears Owen Glendower spoke of.
I cannot blame him. At my nativity, the front of heaven was full of fiery shapes of burning crescents, and at my birth, the frame and huge foundation of the earth shakes like a coward.
Why, so it would have done at the same season if your mother's cat had but kittened, though yourself had ne'er been born.
The heavens were all on fire, the earth did tremble!
Oh, then the earth shook to see the heavens on fire, and not in fear of your nativity.
These signs have marked me extraordinary, and all the courses of my life do show I am not in the role of common men. I can call spirits from the vasty deep.
Why, so can I, and so can any man. But will they come when you do call for them?
Why, I can teach you, cousin, to command the devil.
If thou hast power to raise him, bring him hither.
Come, no more of this unprofitable chat. Here is the map. England, from Trent to Severn hitherto, by south and east to my part, as a sign. All westward, Wales beyond the Severn shore, and all the fertile land within that bound to Owen Glendower, and to you, dear cause, the remnant northward lying off of Trent. Tomorrow, Cousin Percy, you and I and my good lady of Worcester shall set forth to meet your father in the Scottish power, as appointed us at Shrewsbury. My father Glendower is not ready yet. Within that space, you may have drawn together your tenants, friends, and neighboring gentlemen.
A shorter time shall send me to you, lords.
Methinks my moiety north from Burton here in quantity equals not one of yours. See how this river comes me cranking in and cuts me from the best of all my land. I'll have the current in this place dammed up. I'll have it so. A little charge will do it.
I'll not have it altered.
Oh, will not you?
No, nor you shall not.
Who shall say me nay?
Why, that will I.
Let me not understand you then. Speak it in Welsh.
I can speak English, lady, well as you, for I was trained up in the English court, a virtue that was never seen in you. The moon shines fair. You may away by night, break with your wives of your departure hence.
Fie, Cousin Percy, how you cross my father.
I cannot choose. Sometimes he angers me.
In faith, he is a worthy gentleman. I warrant man is not alive, might so have tempted him as you have done, without the taste of danger and reproof.
You must needs learn, girl, to amend this fault, though sometimes show braveness, courage, blood, and that's the nearest grace it renders you, yet oftentimes it doth present harsh rage, defect of manners, want of government, pride of haughtiness, opinion, and disdain.
Well, I am schooled. Good manners be your speed. And the indentures be drawn. I'll be away within these 2 hours, and so come when you will.
Would you believe in a love at first sight? Yeah, I'm certain that it happens all the time. But you see you turn out the light. I can't tell you, but I know it's mine. I want you fine.
I know not whether for some displeasing service I have done, but thou dost in thy passages of life make me believe that thou art only marked for the rod of heaven and the hot vengeance to punish my mistreatment. treaded. Tell me else, could such inordinate and low desires, such as thou art matched withal and grafted to, accompany the greatness of thy blood?
So please your grace, I would I could quit all offenses with as clear excuse as well. I am doubtless I can purge myself of many I am charged withal.
Thy place in council thou hast rudely lost, and thou art almost an alien to the hearts of all the court and princes of my blood. The hope and expectation of thy time is ruined, and the soul of every man doth prophetically forethink thy fall. Had I so lavish of my presence been, so stale and cheap to vulgar company, opinion that did help me to the crown, had still kept loyal to possession, and left me in reputeless banishment. By being seldom seen, I could not stir, but like a comet, I was wondered at. Thus did I keep my person fresh and new, ne'er seen, but wondered at. So my state, seldom, but sumptuous, showed like a feast. But thou hast lost thy princely privilege in vile participation. Not an eye but is aweary of thy common sight, save mine, which hath desired to see thee more. Now doth that I would not have it do, make blind itself with foolish tenderness.
I shall hereafter, my thrice gracious lord, be more myself.
For all the world, by my scepter and my soul to boot, that Hotspur hath more interest in the state than thou, the shadow of succession. She doth fill fields and harness in the realm, turns heads against the lion's armed jaws, and being no more in debt to years than thou, leads ancient lords and reverend bishops onto bloody battles and to bruising arms. And what say you to this? Hotspur, Northumberland, the Archbishop's Grace of York, Douglas, Mortimer, capitulate against us and are up! But wherefore do I share these news with thee? Why, Harry, do I tell thee of my foes, which are my nearest and dearest enemy?
Do not think so. You shall not find it so. And God forgive them that so much have swayed your majesty's good thoughts away from me. I will redeem this all on Hotspur's head, and in the closing of some glorious day, be bold to tell you that I am your son! And that should be the day, whenever it lights, this same child of honor will renown. This gallant Hotspur, this all-praised knight, and your unthought of Harry chance to meet. For I shall make this northern youth exchange her glorious deeds for my indignities.
100,000 rebels die in this! Thou shalt have trust in sovereign charge herein. How now, my good blunt, thy looks are full of speed.
So hath the business I come to speak of. Lord Mortimer of Scotland hath sent word that Douglas and the English rebels met the 11th of this month at Shrewsbury. A mighty and a fearful host they are.
The Earl of Westmoreland set forth this morning for you. This advertisement is 5 days old. On Wednesday next, Harry, you shall set forward. On Thursday, we ourselves shall march as well. Our hands are full of business. Let's away. Advantage feeds her fat while men delay.
Bardolph, am I not fallen away vilely since our last action? Why, my skin hangs about me like an old lady's loose gown. I am withered like an old apple jar.
Why, Sir John, you are so fat you must needs be out of all compass.
Do thou amend thy face, and I'll amend my life.
Sir John, my face does you no harm.
Nay, by my faith, I make as good use of it as many a man doth of a death's head, or a memento mori. I never see thy face, but I think of hellfire. How now? Hast thou inquired yet who picked my pockets?
Why, Sir John, what do you think, Sir John? Do you think I keep thieves in my house? I have searched, I have inquired man by man, boy by boy, servant by servant. The tithe of a hair was never lost in my house before.
You lie, hostess. Bardolph was shaved and lost many a hair.
What?
And I'll be sworn my pocket was picked. Oh, go to. You are a woman. Go.
I? No. I defy thee. God's just nice. It was never cold so in my own house before.
Go to. I know you well enough.
No, Sir John, you do not know me, Sir John. I know you, Sir John. You owe me money, Sir John, and now you pick a quarrel to beguile me of it? I brought you a dozen shouts to your back. You owe me money here besides, Sir John, for your diet, and my drinkings, and money lent you £4.20.
He had his share of it. Let him pay.
He? Oh, alas, one is poor. You have nothing.
Him, poor? Look upon his face. Let them coin his nose. Now, shall I not take mine ease in mine inn, but I should have my pocket picked? I have lost a seal ring of my grandfather worth 40 mark.
Jesu, I've heard the prince tell him I know not how oft that ring was copper.
How? The prince is a jack, a sneaker. Splur neighbor here, I would cudgel him like a dog if he would say so.
My lord, I pray you hear me.
Nay, prithee, let her alone. Listen to me.
What sayest thou, Jack?
The other night I fell asleep here behind the arras and had my pocket picked. This house is turned bawdy house. They pick pockets.
What didst thou lose, Jack?
Oh, would you believe me, lad, but 3 or 4 bonds worth £40 apiece and a seal ring of my grandfather.
A trifle, some 8-penny matter.
So I told him, my lord, and I told him I heard your grace say so, and my lord, he speaks most vilely of you, like a foul-mouthed man as he is, and he said he would cudgel you.
He did not.
There's neither faith, truth, nor womanhood in me else.
There's no more faith in you than in a stewed prune. Go, ya thing, go.
What thing? Say what thing?
What thing? Why, a thing to thank God on.
Oh, I am nothing to thank God on, and I would you should know it. Setting thy knighthood aside, thou art a knave to call me so.
Setting thy womanhood aside, thou art a beast to say otherwise.
Say what beast? Thou knave, thou.
What beast? Why, an otter.
An otter? Sir John, why an otter?
Why, she's neither fish nor flesh. A man knows not where to have her.
Oh, thou art an unjust man in saying so. Thou or any man knows where to have me. Thou knave, thou.
Thou sayest true, hostess, and he slanders thee most grossly.
Oh, so he doth you, my lord, and he said this other day that you owed him £1,000.
Sirrah, do I owe you £1,000?
£1,000 how? 1,000,000. Thy love is worth 1,000,000. Thou owest me thy love.
Nay, my lord, he called you Jack, and he said that he would cudgel you.
Oh. Did I, Bardolph?
Indeed, Sir John, you said so.
If, he said, my ring were copper.
I say 'tis copper. Oh, darest thou be as good as thy word now?
Now how? As thou art but man, I dare, but as thou art prince, I fear thee as I fear the roaring of the lion's whelp.
And why not the lion?
The king himself is to be feared as the lion. Dost thou think I'll fear thee as I fear thy father? Nay, and I do. I pray God my girdle break.
Oh, if it should, how would thy guts fall about thy knees? But Sirrah, there's no room for faith, truth, nor honesty in this bosom of thine. Charge an honest woman with picking thy pocket? Why, if there were anything in thy pockets but, tavern reckonings, memorandums of bawdy houses, and, one poor penny worth of sugar candy to make thee long-winded, I am a villain. Art thou not ashamed?
You confess then, you picked my pocket. Gasp.
It appears so by the story.
Hostess, I forgive thee.
What?
Go make ready breakfast,
You
look to
forgive me?
thy guests, cherish thy servants. You blind me trying to play the honest reason, and prithee be gone. Now how, to the news at court for the robbery, lad? How is that answered?
Oh, my sweet beef. I must still be good angel to thee. The money is paid back again.
Oh, I do not like that paid back. 'Tis a double labor.
I am good friends with my father, and may do anything. I have procured thee, Jack, a charge of foot soldiers.
Would they have been of horse, I am heinously unprovided.
Jack, meet me tomorrow at 2 o'clock in the temple hall. There shalt thou know thy charge, and there receive money and order for their furniture. The land is burning. Hotspur stands on high, and either we or they must lower lie.
Rare words, brave world! Hostess, my breakfast, come! Why, I could wish this tavern were my drum. Final!
Well said, my noble Scot! If speaking truth in this fine age were not thought flattery, such attribution should the Douglas have, as not a season of this nature's sort should go so general current through the world. By God, I cannot flatter. I do defy the tongues of soothers, but a braver place in my heart's love hath no man but yourself.
Thou art the queen of honor. Mwah! No man so potent breathes upon the ground, but I will bear.
Do so, and 'tis well.
These letters come from your father.
Letters from him? Why comes he not himself?
He cannot come, lady. His grievous sick.
Zounds, how have he the leisure to be sick in such a justling time? Who leads his power? Under whose government come they along?
But his letters bring his mind, lady, not I.
I prithee, tell me, doth he keep his bed?
He did, lady, 4 days ere I set forth, and at the time of my departure, thence he was much feared by his physicians.
Sick now! Droop! Now! This sickness doth infect the very lifeblood of our enterprise. He writes me here that inward sickness and that our his friends by deputation could not so soon be drawn, nor did he think it meet to lay so dangerous and dear a charge on any soul removed but on his own. Yet doth he give us bold advertisement that with our small conjunction we should on to see how fortune is disposed to us. For, as he writes, there is no quailing now, for the king is certainly possessed of all our purposes. What say you to it?
Your father's sickness is a maim to us.
A perilous gash, a very limb lopped off. And yet, in vain, it is not his present want. Seems more than we shall find it. Were it good to set the exact wealth of all our states, all at one cast, for therein should we see the very bottom and the soul of hope.
Faith, and so we should. Where now remains as sweet reversion we may boldly spend upon the hope of what is to come in.
Yet, I would your father had been here. The quality and hair of our attempt brooks no division. It will be thought by some who know not why he's away that wisdom, loyalty, and mere dislike of our proceedings kept the open hence. And think how such an apprehension may turn the tide of fearful faction and breed a kind of question in our core.
I'd rather of his absence make this use. It lends a luster, a greater dare, a more amazingness to our great enterprise than if my father marched. For men must think that if without his help we can make a head to push against a kingdom, with his help we shall o'erturn it topsy-turvy down.
Aye, as heart can think, there's not such a word spoke of in Scotland as this term of fear.
Yes. Oh, my gentle cousin Vernon, welcome hither.
Pray God my news be the welcome, friend. The Earl of Westmoreland, 7,000 strong, is marching hitherwards with puissant force.
No harm, what more?
And further, I have learned the king himself in person soon sets forth with strong and mighty preparation.
He shall be welcome too. Where is his son, the nimble-footed madcap, Prince of Wales, and his comrade?
All furnished, all in arms, glittering in golden coats like images, and gorgeous as the sun at midsummer.
No more, no more. Worse than the sun in March, this praise doth nourish agues. Let them come. They come like sacrifices in their trim. I am on fire. Come, let me taste my horse, who is to bear me like a thunderbolt against the bosom of the Prince of Wales. Hairy to hairy shell, hot horse to horse. Meat, and there part till one dropped down a corpse. Oh, that Glendower were come.
There is more news. I learned in Worcester as I rode along. He cannot draw his power this 14 days.
This is the worst news I heard of yet.
Aye, by my faith, that was a frosty sound.
What may the king's whole battle reach unto?
To 30,000.
40 let it be. My father and Glendower being both away, the powers of us shall serve so great today. Come, let us take a muster speedily. Doomsday is near. Die all, die merrily. Yes! To arms!
Ha! Bueno! Get thee before to Coventry. Fill me up a bottle of sack. Our soldiers shall march through.
I will, Captain. Farewell.
Aha! If I be not ashamed of my soldiers, I am a soused gurnet. I have misused the king's press damnably. I have got in exchange of 150 soldiers, 300 and odd pounds. I press me none but good householders, yeomen's sons, inquire me out contracted bachelors. Such a commodity of warm knaves that had as lief hear the devil as a drum, and they have bought out their services. And now my whole charge consists of such as indeed were never soldiers, but discarded unjust serving men, and younger sons to younger brothers, and revolted tapsters. You would think I had 150 tattered prodigals lately come from swine keeping. No, I'll not march through Coventry with them, that's flat. Hey, and the villains walk wide betwixt the legs, as if they had chains on, for indeed I had the most of them out of prison. There's not a shirt and a half in all my company, and the half shirt is 2 napkins tacked together and thrown over the shoulders. And the shirt, to tell the truth, is stolen, but that's all one. That's it. How now, mad wag, what a devil dost thou in Warwickshire? My good Sir Walter Blunt, I cry your mercy. I thought your honor had already been at Shrewsbury.
In faith, Sir John, 'tis more than time that I were there, and you too. But my forces are there already. The king, I can tell you, looks to us all. We must away all night.
Fear not me. I am as vigilant as a cat to steal cream.
I think to steal cream indeed, for thy theft hath already made thee butter. But tell me, Jack, whose fellows are these that come after?
Well, mine, Hal. Mine.
Never did see such pitiful rascals.
Oh, tut. Good enough to toss, huh? Food for powder.
Aye, Sir John, but methinks these are exceeding poor and bare, too beggarly.
Why, for their poverty, I know not where they had that, and for their bareness, I am sure they did not learn that of me.
But Sirrah, make haste. Hotspur is already in the field.
What, is the king encamped?
He is. We must away.
To the latter end of a fray and the beginning of a feast fits a dull soldier, but a keen guest.
We'll fight with him tonight.
It may not be.
You give him an advantage?
Not a whit.
Why say you so? Looks he not for supply?
So do we.
His is certain, ours is doubtful.
Good cousin, be advised. Stir not tonight.
You speak it out of fear and cold heart.
Do me no slander, Douglas. By my life, and I dare well maintain it with my life, if well-respected honor bid me on, I hold as little counsel with weak fear as you, my lord, or any Scot that this day lives. Let it be seen tomorrow in the battle which of us fears.
Yea. Or tonight!
Tonight, say I.
The noble Worcester's horse came but today.
So are the horses of the enemy in general journey baited and brought low. The better part of ours are full of rest.
The number of the kings exceedeth ours. For God's sake, cousin, stay till all come in.
I come with gracious offers from the king. Vouchsafe me hearing
were of our termination. Some of us love you well, and even though some envy your great deservings and good name, because you are not of our quality, but stand against us like an enemy.
And God defend, but still I should stand so. You stand against anointed majesty. But to my charge, the king has sent to know the nature of your griefs, and whereupon you conjure from the breast of civil peace such bold hostility. If that the king hath any way your good deserts forgot, which you confesseth to be manifold, he bids you name your griefs, and with all speed you shall have your desires with interest and pardon absolute for yourself, and these herein misled by your suggestions.
The king is kind, and well we know the king knows at what time to promise, when to pay. My father, and my good aunt, and myself did give him that same royalty he wears.
Tut, I came not to hear this.
Then, to the point, I say King Henry does not lawful rule.
Shall I return this answer to the king?
Not so, Sir Walter. We'll withdraw a while, and in the morning early shall my lady aunt bring the king our purposes, and so, farewell.
I would you would accept of grace and love.
And maybe so we shall.
Pray God you do.
How bloodily the sun begins to peer above yon bulky hill. The day looks pale at his distemperature.
The southern wind doth play the trumpet to his purpose. My hollow whistling in the leaves foretells a tempest and a blustering day.
That with the losers let it sympathize, for nothing can seem foul to those that win. How now, my lady Worcester? 'Tis not well that you and I should meet on such terms as we now meet. You have deceived our trust, and made us doff our easy robes of peace. What say you to it? Will you again unknit this churlish knot of all of horrid war?
For mine own part, I could be well content to spend the lag end of my life with quiet hours. For I protest, I have not sought the day of this dislike.
You have not sought it? How comes it then?
A rebellion lay in her way, and she found it.
Peace, Shuit, peace!
It pleased your majesty to turn your looks of favor from myself and all our house. And yet I must remember you, my lord. We were the first and dearest of your friends, and you did swear that oath at Doncaster that you did nothing purpose against the state, nor claim no farther than your new fallen right, the seat of Gaunt, Dukedom of Lancaster. To this we swore our aid. But in short space it rained down fortune showering on your head, and from this swarm of fair advantages you took occasion to be quickly wooed to grant the general sway into your hand, forgot your oath to us at Doncaster. We were enforced for safety's sake to fly and raise this present head, whereby we stand opposed by such means as you yourself have forged against yourself.
In both our armies, there is many a soul shall pay full dearly for this encounter once they join in trial. Tell your brash niece, the Prince of Wales, doth join with all the world in praise of Harry Percy. By my hopes, this present enterprise set off her head. I do not think a braver gentlewoman more daring or more bold is now alive to grace this latter age with noble deeds. I am content that she shall take the odds of her great name and estimation, and will, to save the blood on either side, try fortune with her in single fight.
We love our people well, even those we love that are misled on your niece's part. And will they take our offer of grace, both they and she and you? Yea, every man shall be my friend again, and I'll be his. So inform your niece, and send me word what she will do. But if she will not yield, rebuke and dread correction wait on us, and they shall do their office. So be gone. We will not now be troubled with reply. We offer fair. Take it advisedly.
shall not be accepted on my life. The Douglas and Hotspur both together are confident against the world in arms.
Hence, therefore, every leader to his charge. Upon their answer, we will settle. For God befriend us, as our cause is just.
How? If thou see me down in the battle and bestride me so, 'tis a point of friendship.
Nothing but a colossus could do thee that friendship. Say thy prayers and farewell.
I would 'twere bedtime, Hal, and all well.
Why, thou owest God a death.
'Tis not due yet. I would be loath to pay him before his day. Still, 'tis no matter. Honor pricks me on. Shing. Yeah, but how if honor prick me off again when I come on? How then? Can honor set to a leg? No. Or an arm? No. Or take away the grief of a wound? No. Honor hath no skill in surgery, then? No. What is honor? A word. Well, what is in that word? Honor. What is that? Honor. Air. Trim reckoning? What? Who hath it? Oh, he that died a Wednesday. Doth he feel it? No. Doth he hear it? No. 'Tis insensible then. Yea, to the dead. But will it not live with living? No. Why? Detraction will not suffer it. Therefore I'll none of it. Honor is a mere scutcheon. And so ends my catechism. Oh, intermission.
There is no seeming mercy in the king.
Did you beg any? God forbid.
I told him gently of our grievances, of his oath breaking, which he mended thus by forswearing that he is forsworn. He calls us rebels, traitors, and would scourge with haughty arms his hateful name in us.
Arm, gentlemen, to arms! For I have thrown a brave defiance in King Henry's teeth, and Westmoreland that was engaged to bear it, which cannot choose but bring him quickly on.
The Prince of Wales stepped forth before the king and, dear niece, challenged you to single fight.
Oh, that the quarrel lay upon our heads, and that no man might draw short breath today, but I and Harry Monmouth. Tell me, how showed his tasking? Seems it in contempt?
No, by my soul, I never in my life did hear a challenge urged more modestly, unless a brother should a sister dare to gentle exercise and proof of arms. If he outlive the envy of this day, England and never, oh, so sweet a hope, so much misconstrued in his wantonness.
Cousin, I think thou art enamored on his follies. Never did I hear of any prince so wild a liberty, but be he as he will, yet once a night I will embrace him with a soldier's arm, that he will shrink under my courtesy. Arm with speed, and fellows, soldiers, friends, and if we live to tread on kings. If die, brave death, and princes die with us. Now, for our consciences, the arms are fair, if the intent in bearing them is just.
My lady, stay, the king comes on apace.
Send all the lofty instruments of war, and by that music, let us all embrace, for heaven to earth. Some of us, a second time, shall never do such a courtesy. To arms! To arms!
What is thy name that in the battle thus thou trustest me? What honor dost thou seek upon my head?
No then, my name is Douglas, and I do haunt thee in the battle thus because some tell me that thou art a king.
They tell thee true.
Ha ha! All's done, all's won. Here breathless lies the king.
Where?
Here.
This Douglas? No. I know this face full well. A gallant knight he was. His name was Blunt, sembly furnished like the king.
Full go with thy soul, whither it goes. A borrowed title hath thou brought to dear. Why didst thou tell me that thou wert a king?
The king hath many marching in his coats.
Now by my sword, I will kill all his coats. I will murder his wardrobe piece by piece until I meet the king!
And away! Our soldiers stand full fairly for the day!
Soft! Who are you? Oh, Sir Walter Blunt. There's honor for you. Ooh. Here's no vanity. I've led my ragamuffins to where they are peppered. There's not 3 of my 150 left alive. Who comes here? Oh, hey.
What, standst thou idle here? Lend me thy sword. Many a nobleman lies stark and stiff under the hoofs of vaunting enemies whose deaths are yet unrevenged. I prithee, lend me thy sword.
Hell, I prithee give me leave to breathe a while. None ever did such deeds at arms as I have done this day. I have heard Hotspur. I have made her sure.
She is indeed and living to kill thee. I prithee, lend me thy sword.
Under the name by God, hell, if Hotspur be alive, thou canst stop my sword. Ooh, but take my pistol if thou wilt.
Give it me.
Oh.
What? Is it a time to jest and dally now?
Well, if Hotspur be alive, I'll hotly spurn her. Oh, I like not such grinning honor as Sir Walter hath. Bardolph! Grant me life, which, if I can save, so, if not, honor comes unlooked for, and there's an end.
I prithee, Harry, withdraw thyself, thou bleedest too much.
Another king! They grow like hydras' heads. I am the Douglas, fatal to all those who wear those colours that on them. What art thou that counterfeitest the person of a king?
The king himself! Oh, Douglas, grieves at heart so many of the shadows thou hast met. But, since thou fallest on me so luckily, I will assay thee, and defend thyself!
I fear thou art another counterfeit, and yet, in faith, thou bearest like a king. Of mine I'm sure thou art, and thus I win thee!
Hold up thy head, vile scout, or thou art like never to hold it up again. It's the Prince of Wales that threatens thee, who never promiseth what he needs to pay. Surely, my lord, how fares your grace?
Stay and breathe a while. Thou hast redeemed thy lost opinion, showst thou make some tender of my life in this fair rescue thou hast brought to me.
For God, that did me too much injury that said I hearkened for your death.
If I mistake not, thou art Harry Monmouth.
Thou speakst as if I would deny my name.
My name is Harry Percy.
Why don't I see a very valiant rebel of the name? I am the Prince of Wales, and think not, Hotspur, to share with me in glory anymore. 2 stars keep not their motion in one sphere, nor can one England brook a double reign of Harry Percy and the Prince of Wales.
Nor shall it, Harry, for the hour's yet come to end the one of us. And would to God your name in arms were now as great as mine!
I'll make it greater ere I part from thee, and all the budding honors of my crest I'll crop to make a garland for my head.
I can no longer brook thy vanities! loss of brittle life than of those proud titles thou hast won of me. They wound my thoughts worse than thy sword my flesh. But thoughts, the thralls of life, and life, time's fool. And time, that takes survey of all the world, must have a stop. Oh, I could prophesy that the icy and cold hand of death lies on my tongue. No, Percy, thou art dust and food for...
For words, great Percy. Fare thee well, great heart. Ill-weaved ambition, how much art thou shrunk? When that this body did contain a spirit, a kingdom for it was too small a bound. But now 2 paces of the vilest earth is room enough. This earth that bears thee dead, bears not alive so stout a gentlewoman. Adieu, take thy praise with thee to heaven, thy ignominy sleep with thee in the grave, not remembered in thy epitaph. What? Old acquaintance, cannot all this flesh keep it a little life? Poor Jack, farewell. Better spared a better man. I should have a heaviness of thee if I were much in love with vanity. Death hath not struck so fat a deer today, though many dearer in this bloody fray. Ah!
Oh, happy dagger. Blood. 'Twas time to counterfeit, else that hot termagant Scot had paid me Scot and lot too. Counterfeit? I lie, I am no counterfeit. To die is to be a counterfeit, for he is but the counterfeit of a man who hath not the life of a man. But to counterfeit dying, where a man thereby liveth, is to be no counterfeit, but the true and perfect image of life indeed. The better part of valor is discretion, in the which doing I have saved my life. Ha! Zoos! I am afraid of this gunpowder Hotspur, though she be dead. What if she should counterfeit too and rise? By my faith, I am afraid she would prove the better counterfeit. Therefore, I'll make her sure. Yea, and I'll say I killed her. But why may she not rise as well as I? Nothing defeats me but eyes, and nobody sees me. And nobody sees me. Yeah. Now, therefore, milady, with a new wound in your thigh, go you along with me.
But soft you have we here. Did you not tell me this fat man was dead?
I did. I saw him breathless and bleeding on the ground, dead. Art thou alive?
Here is Hotspur! Ah, if my father should do me any honor, so. If not, let him kill the next Hotspur himself. I look to be either duke or earl, I can assure you.
Why, Percy, I killed myself and saw thee dead.
Didst thou? Lord, Lord, how the world is given to lying. I grant you I was down and out of breath, and so was she. But we both rose in an instant and fought a long hour by Shrewsbury pluck. If I may be believed, so. If not, that they that should reward valor bear the sin upon their own head. I'll take it upon my death I gave her this wound in the thigh. If the lady were alive and would deny it, blood, I would give her a piece of my sword.
This is the strangest tale that ever I heard.
This is the strangest fellow who speaks it. Come, bring your luggage nobly on your back. For my part, if a lie may do thee grace, I'll gild it with the happiest terms I have. The captain sounded retreat. The day is ours.
I'll follow, as they say, for rewards. And he that rewards me, God reward him. Bartle! If I do grow great, I'll grow less. For I'll purge and leave sack and live cleanly, as a nobleman should do.
Worcester, did we not send grace, pardon, and terms of love to all of you?
What I have done, my safety urged me to. I embraced this fortune patiently, since, not to be avoided, it falls on me.
Bear Worcester to the death, and Vernon too. The other offenders we shall pause upon. How goes the field?
The noble Scot, Lord Douglas, upon hearing the fortune of the day, quite turned from him. The noble Hotspur slain, and all our men upon the foot of fear fled with the rest. And falling from a hill, he was so bruised that the pursuers took him. At my tent, the Douglas is. I beseech your grace I may dispose of him.
With all my heart.
Then, noble Lord of Westmoreland, to you this honorable bounty shall belong. Go to the Douglas and deliver him up to his pleasure, ransomless and free. His valor shown upon our crest today have taught us to cherish such high deeds, even in the bosom of our adversaries.
I thank your grace for this high courtesy, which I shall give away immediately.
Rebellion in this land shall lose its sway, meeting the check of such another day. And now that this business so fair is done, let us not leave till all our own be won.
Bardolph, sirrah, you giant. What says the doctor to my water?
He said, sir, that the water itself was a good and healthy water. But for the party that owed it, he might have more diseases than he knew for.
Men of all sorts take a pride to gird at me. If the prince put thee into my service for any other reason than to set me off with, then I have no judgment. He may keep his own grace, but he's almost out of mine, I can assure you.
What's he that goes there?
Falstaff, and it please my lady Chief Justice.
He that was in question for the robbery?
He, my lady, but he hath since done good service at Shrewsbury.
Call him back again. Sir!
Tell her I am deaf.
You must speak louder. My master is deaf.
Yeah.
I am sure he is. To the hearing of anything good, go pluck him by the elbow. I must speak with him.
So, you like Shakespeare?
The lady Chief Justice would speak with you. Sir John Falstaff, a word with you.
Oh, my good lady. God give your good ladyship good time of the day. I'm glad to see your ladyship abroad. I heard tell your ladyship was sick. I hope your ladyship goes abroad by advice. I most humbly beseech your ladyship to have a reverent care of your health.
Sir John, I sent for you before your expedition to Shrewsbury.
And it please your ladyship, I hear His Majesty the King is returned with some discomfort.
Well, God mend him. I pray you let me speak with you.
This apoplexy, as I take it, is a kind of lethargy, if it please your ladyship, a kind of sleeping in the blood, a kind of deafness.
I think you are fallen into the disease, for you hear not what I say to you.
Very well, my lady, very well. Rather, it is the disease of not listening, the malady of not marking that doth harm me at this time.
Punish you by the heel. You are fallen. Hear not what I say. Punish you by the heels would amend the attention of your ears. Sir John, you live in great infamy.
Men who buckle themselves in my belt cannot live in less.
Your means are very slender, and your waist is great.
I would it were otherwise. I would my means were great, and my waist slender.
You have misled the youthful prince.
The youthful prince hath misled me.
Your day's service at Shrewsbury hath a little gilded over your night's exploit on Gad's Hill.
My lady!
But since all is well, keep it so. Wake not a sleeping wolf.
To wake a wolf is as bad as to sniff a fox.
down like his ill angel.
Not so, my lady. You that are old consider not the capacity of us that are young.
Do you set down your name in the scroll of youth that are written down old with all the characters of age?
What?
Have you not a moist eye, a dry hand, a yellow cheek, a white beard, a decreasing leg, an increasing belly? Is not your voice broken, your wind short, your chin double, your wit single, and every part about you blasted with antiquity? And will you yet call yourself young? 555, Sir John!
My lady, I was born about 3 o'clock in the afternoon with a white head and something around belly. As for my voice, I have lost it with hallooing and the singing of anthems. To further approve my youth, I will not. The truth is, I am only old in judgment and understanding.
Well, God send the prince a better companion.
God send the companion a better prince. I cannot rid my hands of him.
Well, the king hath severed you and Prince Hal.
Yeah, I thank your pretty sweet wit for it. Will your ladyship lend me £1,000?
Not a penny. Huh? Not a penny. Fare you well.
Bardolph, how much money is in my purse?
7 groats and 2 pence.
Oh, I can get no remedy against this consumption of the purse. Borrowing only lingers and lingers it out. The disease is incurable. Bill bear this to my Lord Hal. Go bear this to the Earl of Westmoreland. Oh, and this to my mistress Ursula, whom I have weakly sworn to marry, since I perceived the first white hair on my chin. About it, you know where to find me. Pox of this gout, or a gout of this pox? The one or the other plays the devil with my great toe. Well, it does not matter if I do halt. I have the wars for my colors, and my pension shall seem the more reasonable. You know, a good wit can make use of anything. I shall turn diseases to commodities.
Master Sheriff, will you stand to it?
Oh, we must arrest Sir John Falstaff.
Yea, good Master Sheriff, I have entered him and all.
It may chance cost some of our lives, for he will stab.
Alas, the day take heed of him, he cares not what mischief he does. If his weapon be out, he will fly like any devil.
Oh, if I can close with him, I care not for his thrust.
No, nor I neither. I'll be at your elbow. I am undone by his going. 100 mark is a long one for a poor lone woman to bear, and I have borne, and borne, and borne, and I have been fubbed off, and fubbed off, and fubbed off from this day to the next day. That is a shame to be thought on. Do your office. Do me. Do your office.
Sir John, I arrest you with the suit of Mistress Quickly.
Wait, varlet. Draw, Bardolph. Go cut off the villain's head. Throw the scrumpet in the channel.
Throw me in the channel. I'll throw thee in the channel. Oh, wilt thou, bastardly rogue, martyr, oh, thou honeysuckle villain. Wilt thou kill God's officers and the king's?
Keep them off, Bardolph.
Hailing and scullion, what's delirium?
I'll tickle your catastrophe.
What is the matter? Keep the peace, dear ho.
Good, my lady, be good. To me, I beseech you, stand to me.
Now, Sir John, what, are you brawling here? Does this become your place, your time and business?
Oh, my most worshipful lady, and please your grace, I am a poor widow of Ishib, and he is arrested at my suit.
For what sum?
It's more than for some, my lady. It is for all I have. He hath eaten me out of house and home. He has put all my substance into that.
How comes this, Sir John? Are you not ashamed to enforce a poor widow to so rough a course to come by her own?
What is the gross sum that I owe thee?
Marry, if thou wert an honest man, thyself and the money too, thou didst swear to marry me and make me thy lady, your wife.
The truth is, poverty hath distracted her.
Sir John, I am well acquainted with your manner of wrenching the true cause the false way. You have, as it appears to me, practiced upon the easy-yielding spirit of this woman and made her serve your uses both in purse and in person.
Yea, in truth, my lady.
Pray thee, peace. Pay her the debt you owe her, and unpay the villainy you have done with her. One you may do with sterling money, the other with current repentance.
Come hither,
Now what news?
as I am a gentleman.
Faith, you've said so before.
As I am a gentleman, come, we'll have no more words on it. Oh, come. And were not for thy humors, there's not a better wench in England.
You'll pay me altogether.
Will I live, Bardolph? Go with her, hook on.
Will you have Daltashi meet you in supper?
No more words, let's have her.
I have heard better news.
Oh, what is the news, my lady?
Where lay the king tonight?
At Basingstoke, my lady.
I hope my lord all's well. What is the news, my lady?
You shall have letters of me presently.
Oh, my lady,
What's the matter?
will you sup with me?
What foolish master taught you these manners, Sir John?
If they become me not, he was a fool that taught them me.
Before God, I am exceeding weary.
Is't come to that, I had thought weariness durst have attached one of so high born.
Faith, it does me, though it discolors the complexion of my greatness to acknowledge it. Shall I tell thee one thing, Poins?
Yes, faith, and let it be an excellent good thing.
Mary, I tell thee it's not meet that I should be sad now that my father is sick. What wouldst thou think of me if I should weep?
I would think thee a most princely hypocrite.
It would be every man's thought. And what excite's your most worshipful thought to think so?
Why? Because you have been so lewd and so much engraft to Falstaff.
And to thee?
The worst that they can say of me is that I am a second sibling and that I'm a proper person on my hands, and those two things I confess I cannot help. Oh, by the mass, here comes Bardolph.
God save your grace.
And yours, most noble Bardolph, and how doth thy master, Bardolph?
Well, my good lord, he heard of your coming to town. There is a letter for you.
Oh, delivered with good respect. And how doth your master?
And bodily health, sir.
Mark you how he writes.
Sir John Falstaff, knight to the son of the king, nearest his father, Harry, Prince of Wales, greeting. Why, this is a certificate.
Peace. I commend me to thee, I commend thee, and I leave thee. Be not too familiar with Poins, for they misuse thy favors so much that they swear thou art to marry their sister Nell. Repent at either times as thou mayest, and so farewell. Thine by yea and no, which is as much to say as thou usest him. Jack Falstaff with my familiars, John with my brothers and sisters, and Sir John with all of Europe.
My lord, I'll steep this letter in sack and make him eat it.
That's to make him eat 20 of his words. But do you use me thus, Ned? Must I marry your sister?
Oh, God send the wench no worse fortune, but I never said so.
Is your master come to town?
Yea, my lord.
Where sups he?
The old place in Eastcheap.
Shall we steal upon him, Ned, at supper?
I am your shadow, my lord.
I'll follow you.
Bardolph, no word to your master that I am yet come to town. There's for your silence.
I have no tongue, sir.
Fare thee well. Go. How might we see Falstaff bestow himself in his true colors and not ourselves be seen?
Put on 2 leathern jerkins and aprons, and wait upon him at his table.
From a drawers. From a prince and apprentice. A low transformation that shall be mine, for with all things of purpose must weigh with the folly. Follow me, Ned.
Faith, sweetheart, methinks you are now in excellent good temporality. Your posage beats as extraordinarily as heart would desire, and your color, I warrant you, is as red as any rose. Good truth, love, how do you know? Better than I was.
Would you believe in a love at first sight? Empty the chamber pot. I'm sure that it happens all the time. How now, Mistress Dull?
Sick of a calm, yea, good faith.
So is all her sect, and they be once in a call, they are sick.
Pox damn you, you muddy rascal! Is this all the comfort you give me?
You make fat rascals, Mistress Doll.
I make them. Gluttony and diseases make them. I make them not.
If the cook helped to make the gluttony, you help to make the diseases, Doll. We catch of you, Doll, we catch of you.
Hang yourself, you muddy conjure! Hang yourself! By my truth, this is the old fashion. You two never meet before to some discord.
One must bear, and that must be you. You are the weaker vessel, as they say, the emptier vessel.
How can a weak, empty vessel bear such a pull, a huge hogshead? Come, I'll be friends with thee, Jack. Thou art tonight, and always to the wars, and whether I shall ever see thee again or no, there's nobody cares.
Peace, Doll. Do not speak to me like a death's head. Do not make me remember mine end.
Sirrah, what humors the prince of?
A good, shallow young fellow.
They say Points has a good wit.
Very good wit. Hang them, baboon. Their wit's as thick as Tewkesbury mustard.
Why does the prince love them so then?
For their legs are both of a bigness, and swears with a good grace, and wears their boots very smooth. Such other gamble faculties that show a weak mind and an able body, for the which the prince admits him, for the prince himself is such another.
Not this knave of a wheel have his ears cut off.
Kiss me, doll.
Is it not strange that desire should so many years outlive performance?
Thou dost give me flattering affection.
Oh, by my troth, I kiss thee with a most constant heart.
I am old. I am old.
Oh, I love thee better than I love e'er a scurvy young boy of them all.
Merry son, come, 'tis late. We'll to bed.
Oh.
Thou'lt forget me when I'm gone.
Oh, by my troth, thou set me to weeping, and thou sayest so.
Some sack!
Anon, sir!
Bastard son of the king. And are you not Poins' sibling?
Why, thou globe of sinful continence, what a life dost thou lead?
Better than thou, I am a gentleman. Thou art a drawer.
Very true, sir, and I come to draw you out by the ears.
Oh, may the Lord preserve thy good grace. By my truth, welcome to London. May the Lord bless that sweet face of thine.
Oh, thou horse and mad compound of majesty, by this light flesh and corrupted blood, I welcome thee.
How, you fat fool! I scorn you!
By you horse and candle I knew, how vilely do you speak of me now before this honest, virtuous, and civil gentlewoman?
What, didst thou hear me?
Yea, and you knew me as you did when you ran away by Gad's Hill. You knew I was at your back and spoke it on purpose to try my patience.
No, not so. I did not think thou wast within hearing.
Well, I should drive you then to confess the willful abuse, and then I know how to handle you.
No abuse, how? On my honor, no abuse.
No abuse?
No abuse, Ned, in the world. Honest Ned, none. I dispraise him before the wicked, that the wicked might not fall in love with me, in which doing I have done the part of a careful friend and a true subject, and thy father is to give me thanks for it.
How now, Bardolph, what news?
The king, your father is at Westminster.
I have points! Feel me much to blame, so idly to profane the precious time. Give me my sword and cloak. Falstaff, good night.
What, now comes in the sweetest morsel of the night, and we must hence and leave it unpicked?
A dozen sheriffs wait at door for you. You must await a court presently.
Farewell, doll. You see, my good wench, how men of merit are sought after. Yet the undeserver may sleep while the man of action is called on. Farewell, good wench. If I be not sent away post, I shall see thee again ere I go.
Well, have a care of thyself, Jack.
Farewell. Farewell.
Well, fare thee well. I haven't known thee these 29 years come peace card time, but an honester and a truer-hearted man. Well, fare thee well.
How many thousand of my poorest subjects are at this hour asleep? Oh, sleep. Oh, gentle sleep, nature's soft nurse, how have I frightened thee, that thou no more wilt weigh down my eyelids and steep my senses in forgetfulness? Partial sleep, canst thou give thy repose to the wet sea boy in an hour so rude, and yet in the stillest, most calmest night deny it to a king? Happy low, lie down. Uneasy lies the head that wears a crown.
Your Majesty hath been this fortnight ill, and these unseasoned hours perforce must add unto your sickness.
I will take thy counsel. And yet, my lord, where is the prince, my son?
I think he's gone to dine, my lord, in London.
And how accompanied canst thou tell that?
With Poins and his other continual followers.
Most subject is the fattest soil to weeds, and he, the noble image of my youth, is overspread with them. Thus, my grief extends beyond the hour of death. The blood weeps from my heart when I do shape in forms imaginary the unguided days and rotten times that you shall look upon while I am sleeping with my ancestors. And now my sight fails, and my brain is giddy. Oh, come near me, for I am much ill.
My sovereign lord, cheer up yourself, look up. This apoplexy will certain be his end.
Take me up and bear me hence. Oh, softly, pray. Let no noise be made, my gentle friend. Place me the crown upon my pillow here.
Doth the king?
Exceeding ill, not so much noise, my lord. Sweet prince, speak low. Let us withdraw into the other room.
No! I will sit here and watch by the king. Why doth the crown lie there upon his pillow, being so troublesome a bedfellow? Polished perturbation, golden care that keeps the poor to slumber, open wide to many a watchful night. Sleep with it now. This sleep is sound indeed. This is a sleep that from this golden wriggle hath divorced so many English kings. Thy due for me is tears and heavy sorrows of the blood, which nature, love, and filial tenderness shall, dear father, pay thee plenteously. My due from thee is this imperial crown, which as immediate from thy place and blood derives itself to me. Lo, where it sits, which God shall guard. Put the world's whole strength into one giant arm, shall not force this lineal honor from me. This from thee will I to mine leave, as 'tis left to me.
Westmoreland!
What would your majesty? How fares your grace?
Why did you leave me here alone, my lord?
I left the prince himself, my liege, who undertook to sit and watch by you.
The Prince of Wales? Where is he? Let me see him. Oh, he is not here.
He came not through the chamber where I stayed.
Where is the crown? Who took it from my pillow?
When I withdrew, my liege, I left it here.
The prince had tainted hence. Is he so hasty that he doth think my sleep, my death? Find him, Westmoreland, and chide him hither. His part in this conjoins with my disease and helps to end me. See, sons, what things you are, how quickly nature falls into revolt when gold becomes her object.
I found the prince, my lord, in the next room, washing with kindly tears his gentle cheeks.
Wherefore did he take away the crown? Lo, where he comes. Come hither to me, Harry. Depart the chamber, leave us here alone.
I never thought to hear you speak again.
Dost thou so hunger for mine empty chair that thou wilt needs invest thyself with my honors before thy power be ripe? Oh, foolish youth, thou seekest the greatness that will overwhelm thee. Thou hast stolen that which, after some few hours, were thine without offense. And at my death, thou hast sealed up my expectation. Thy life did manifest, thou lovest me not, and thou wilt have me die assured of it. What, canst thou not forbear me half an hour? Oh, then get thee gone, and dig my grave thyself, and bid the merry bells to thine ear that thou art crowned, not that I am dead.
Pardon me, my liege, there's your crown. God witnessed with me when here I came in and saw no course of breath with your majesty, how cold it struck my heart. If I do fain, oh, let me in my present wildness die, and never live to show the incredulous world the noble change I have purposed. Coming to look on you and thinking you dead, and dead almost, my liege, to think you were, I spake under this crown as having sense, and thus upbraided it. The care on thee depending hath fed upon the body of my father. Therefore thou best of gold art worst of gold. Accusing it, I put it on my head to try with it, as with an enemy that had before my face murdered my father.
Oh, my son, God put it in thy mind to take it hence, that thou might win the more thy father's love, pleading so wisely in excuse of it. Come hither to me, Harry. Sit thou beside my bed, and hear, I think, the very latest counsel that ever I should breathe. God knows, my son, by what bypaths and indirect crooked ways I met this crown, and I myself know how troublesome it sat upon my head. To thee it shall descend with better quiet, better opinion, better confirmation. For all my reign hath been as but a scene acting that argument. And now my death changes the mood. For what in me was purchased fallest on thee in a more fairer sort. So thou wearest the garland successively. How I came by this crown, O God forgive, and grant it may with thee in true peace live.
Gracious liege, you won it, wore it, kept it, gave it me. Then plain and right must my possession be, which I have more than with a common pay against all the world rightfully maintain. Let's.
How now, my Lady Chief Justice?
How doth the king?
Exceeding well. His cares have now all ended.
I hope not dead.
He has walked the way of nature, and to our purposes he lives no more.
I would his majesty had called me with him.
Indeed, I think the young king loves you not.
I know he doth not, and do arm myself to welcome the condition of the time, which cannot look more hideously upon me than I drawn it in my fantasy. Oh God, I fear all will be overturned.
Well, peace be with him who hath made us heavy.
Peace be with us, lest we be heavier.
Now you must speak Sir John Falstaff fair, which swims against your stream of quality.
If truth and upright innocency fail me, I'll to the king my master that is dead, and tell him who hath sent me after him.
Here comes the prince.
Good morrow, and God save your majesty.
This new and gorgeous garment, majesty, is not so easy on me as you think. Friends, you mix your sadness with some fear. For me, by heaven, I bid you be assured. Let me but bear your love. I'll bear your cares. Yet weep that Henry is dead, and so shall I. But Henry lives. I shall convert those tears by number into hours of happiness. You all look strangely on me, and you most. You are, I think, assured I love you not.
I am assured, if I be measured rightly, your majesty hath no just cause to hate me.
No? How might a prince of my great hopes forget such great indignities you laid upon me?
I then did use the person of your father. The image of his power lay then in me and in the administration of his law, whereon, as an offender to your father, I gave bold way to my authority and did commit you. If the deed were ill, be you contented wearing now the garland to have a son such your decrees that not question your royal thoughts. Make the case yours. Be now the father and propose a son. See your most dreadful laws so loosely slighted. Behold yourself so by a son disdained. And then imagine me taking your part and in your power, soft silencing your son. After this cold considerate sentence me, and as you are a king, speak in your state what I have done that misbecame my place, my person, or my liege sovereignty.
You are right, Justice, and you weigh this well. Therefore still bear the balance and the sword. And I do wish your honors may increase till you do live to see a son of mine offend you and obey you as I did. You shall be as a mother to my youth, and princes all, believe me, I beseech you. My father has gone wild into his grave, for in his tomb lie my affections. And with his spirits, sadly I survive to mock the expectation of the world, to frustrate prophecy, to raise out rotten opinion. The tide of blood in me hath proudly flowed in vanity, till now. Now doth turn and ebb back toward the sea, where it shall mingle with the state of floods and flow henceforth in formal majesty. No prince nor peer shall have just cause to say, God shorten Henry's happy life one day.
Sang a tune, then you stand agony. Then we sing a song, trying to sing a tune. How now, Bardolph?
Sweet knight, thou art now one of the greatest men in the realm. Sir John, I am thy Bardolph and thy friend. And helter-skelter have I run to thee, and tidings do I bring, and lucky joys and golden times and happy news of pride.
I pray thee, deliver them like a man of this world. If, sir, you come with some news of the court, I am, sir, under the king in some authority.
But under which king?
Under King Henry.
King Henry the Fourth or Fifth?
Henry the Fourth? Yeah, Fourth.
Thy tender lambkin now is king. Henry the Fifth's the man, I speak the truth. When Bardolph lies, do this and fig me.
What, is the old king dead?
As nail in door, the things I say are just.
Oh! Away, Bardolph! The laws of England are at my commandment. Blessed are they that have been my friends, and woe to my lady chief justice. Oh, do you stand beside me, Bardolph? I will make the king do you grace. I will leer upon him as he comes by, and do but mark the countenance that he will give me.
Oh, God bless thy lungs, good night.
Oh, if I had had time to have made new liveries, I would have. Still, 'tis no matter. This poor show doth better. It doth infer the zeal I had to see him. It shows my earnestness of affection, my devotion, as it were, to ride day and night, as if there were nothing else to be done but to see him. It doth. God save thee, King Hal, my royal Hal!
The heavens thee guard and keep!
speak to that vain man.
Have you your wits know you what 'tis you speak?
My king, my Jove, I speak to thee, my heart.
I know thee not, old man. Fall to thy prayers. How ill white hairs becomes a fool and jester. I have long dreamt of such a kind of man, so serpent swelled, so old and so profane. But being awake, I do despise my dream. Make less thy body hence, and more thy grace. Leave gormandizing. Know the grave doth gape for thee thrice wider than for other men. Reply not to me with a fool-born jest. Presume not that I am the thing I was, for God doth know, so shall the world perceive, that I have turned away from my former self. So will I those that kept me company. When thou dost hear I am as I been, approach me, and thou shalt be as thou wast, the tutor and the feeder of my riots. Till then I banish thee, on pain of death, as I have done the rest of my misleaders, not to come near our person by 10 miles. And as we hear you do reform yourselves, we will, according to your strengths and qualities, give you advancement. Be it your charge, lady, to see performed the tenor of my word. Set on.
Fear not this, I will be sent for in private to him.
Thus far, with rough and all unable pen, our bending author has pursued the story.
In little room confining mighty men, mangling by starks the full course of their glory.
Small time, but in that small most greatly lived this star of England. Fortune made his sword, by which the world's best garden be achieved, and of it left his son, imperial lord.
Oh, for a muse of fire!
Look, he must see much to the world. Fear not your advancement. I will be the man yet, and I shall make you great.
I cannot well perceive how.
Unless you should give me your double, do not stuff me out with straw.
As Alexander kills his friend Cletus, being in his ales and his cups, so also Harry Monmouth, being in his right wits and good judgments, turned away the fast night with the great belly doublet. He was full of jests, of jibes, of knaveries and mocks. I have forgot his name.
Sir, this that you hear is but a color.
A color that I fear you will die in, Sir John.
Bardolph, big life. Poise, rouse thy vaunting veins. Dawn, bristle thy courage up. For Falstaff, he is dead. Oh.
Would I were with him wheresoe'er he is, either in heaven or in hell.
Nay, sure, he's not in hell. He's in Arthur's bosom, if ever man went to Arthur's bosom. Parted even just between 12 and 1, even at the turning of the tide. How now, Sir John, quoth I? What man, be of good cheer? So I bade me lay more clothes on his feet, and I put my hand into the bed and felt them, and they were as cold as any stone.
They say he cried out of sack.
Aye, that it is.
And of women.
Nay, that it did not.
Fear no colors. Go with me home to dinner. Come, Bardolph? I shall be sent for soon. At night. What would you do if I sang out of tune? Would you stand up and walk out on me? Lend me your ears, and I'll sing you a song. I will try not to sing out of key. I get by with a little help from my friends. I get high with a little help from my friends. What will I do now my Hal is away?
Does it worry you to be alone?
And how will I feel at the end of the day?
Are you sad because you're on your own?
No, I get by with a little help from my friends.
He gets by with a little help from his friends.
Do you need
Anybody? Hey, I need somebody to love.
Could it be
Hey, I need somebody to love. Hey, we get by with a little help from our friends. We get high with a little help from our friends. We're gonna try with a little help from our friends, with a little help from our